All right, what's up, boys? Kind of missed some, EDM drama while I was away. I didn't realize that this happened. This happened like 20 days ago, so I'm kind of late to the party, but I figured this would be kind of fun to cover just because I do think there is some sort of like learning moments that you can take away from this. One person handled this great, and then the other one sort of walked it back, sort of. Anyways, drama is between Svdden and Deadmau5. So basically, Deadmau5 came after Svdden, I guess, in Instagram post. He just said, "What a terrible day to have ears." And then Danny responded on Twitter, "The artist that inspired my whole career, hating my project is truly the most 720 moment of my life. Still love him." So that's basically how the drama started. Deadmau5 just commented, "What a terrible day to have ears." And honestly, if you know anything about Deadmau5, he's not really hidden how much he doesn't really like dubstep. And this is a video from like 13 years ago where he kind of talks about it a little bit.
Dubstep, I don't hate it for the culture. I love it for the culture. I don't hate it for the artist. I don't hate it for the thing. I hate it for the sound. It is a you to like every audio engineer in the world, because it's just so, like, these kids go out and they want it loud.
And the funny part is that it's only gotten worse. Like, if you compare dubstep 13 years ago to what it is now and include artists like Nimda, or I mean Svdden obviously, but especially like Nimda nowadays or YVM3, I mean, it's only getting worse. So like, Jesus Christ, poor guy.
Loud. You got a volume knob for that, dude. And if it's not loud enough, buy an amp and some better speakers, you know? So what they do is they ruin the dynamic of the signal, and it's loud, yeah, and it's grindy, yeah. And then they were like,
this context is 13 years ago, and it's gotten so much worse, and it's really funny. It's really
there's two
funny.
ways you can play that off. Like, one, I don't know what the I'm doing, so I just put a limiter on it and then brought the threshold all the way down and just sausaged the out of it because I'm an idiot and everyone else is doing it. Or I legitimately, that is the art. You know, it's interesting to see what has happened in dance music because of the lack of engineering brought into it, as opposed to, you know, just what taught, you know. I think when I started then making dance music, it was more about sculpting the sound in a transparent manner so it'll sound good on a big system, sound good on a little mono speaker, you know what I mean? I really went in with that mentality that really lacked in dance music.
I mean, fair enough. That's a take to have. And, you know, if you listen to Deadmau5's music, that makes sense. That definitely translates to how he writes music even to this day. Like, you will never hear anything close to the levels of distortion that we have in dubstep. But that's just, I don't know, that's the sound. That's what dubstep is. You know, some people are gonna love it, some people are gonna hate it, and I think Deadmau5 has, in a sense, always hated it. So, you know, it's not super surprising that he did not enjoy Mr. Svdden set. It's not that surprising. But yeah, he clarified sort of what he said. I don't think this clarifies that much, but I'll just read it anyways. "All this drama over a 6-word comment makes me wonder if the dubstep community's idea of the best show ever is just standing in front of a LRAD Riot control unit. Don't give me ideas." In case you don't know what like an LRAD Riot control unit is, because I had no idea. I had no idea. It's basically like a noise Krauss disbursement device. So it like plays high pitched frequency sounds to, like, you know, make people disperse. I believe it works. I think it works. So yeah. Also, that comment really has nothing to do with Svdden. I like that dude or Void or anything other than 14 to 28,000 kilohertz sine waves at volumes in excess of 120 dB. You guys are way too serious for me to not think this is funny shit. I don't really know what he means. I'm not gonna lie. The last part, I don't really get. You guys are way too serious. Maybe he's trying to say that the whole like costume thing that Svdden is putting on and stuff like that, like, that's sort of taking, you know, these like weird sounds like very seriously. Again, I just think Deadmau5 is out of touch with dubstep, and he has no intention of actually, you know, trying to understand what the genre has turned into now. He doesn't like it. And honestly, being a dubstep producer for like 10 years, I get that. I've definitely had a bunch of people who don't understand the style of music that I make and don't really care for it. And I don't take any offense to it. I don't care. I understand that even if I make a 10 out of 10 song in my books, that doesn't mean that 100% of people who listen to it will like it. I mean, first of all, they have to get through the barrier of enjoying dubstep, which is already incredibly kind of hard to get into if you don't, if you don't sort of get like held your hand through it, I guess, because there's a lot of not great and not good tracks. So you might hear like some bottom of the barrel stuff and think, wow, this sucks. That's the same for any genre, really. It's the same for really anything. Yeah, and then final thing, Subtronics also commented on this, which I thought was kind of funny. I've told you this before, but before I met you, I've always planned in my head saying, Mr. Deadmau5, I love your music. It's a big part of the reason I make music myself. Speaking of, I hope to God you never fucking hear it. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Haha, dude. And then Deadmau5 responded, haha, dude, you know how it is. And, I appreciate you. And then Sudden Death commented, my fucking goat. I don't know. I don't think this is super dramatic. There's a lot of like news articles dramatizing this to like no ends, right? Obviously trying to get clicks and shit, but I don't think this is like super dramatic. I think Danny handled this super well. Sudden Death handled this super well. And I don't think it's any secret that if you're a dubstep artist or an artist who makes music that isn't like traditionally what in the same vein as like Deadmau5 and you're like pushing sounds beyond the point an engineer would be okay with, then Deadmau5 is probably not gonna like your music and he will never sign it to his label or never care about it. And he might even say something bad about you on Twitter or something. Like, I don't know. I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters. I think Danny looks good in this. Deadmau5 kind of looks like a dick, but I mean, if you know, I've been following Deadmau5 for probably like, I don't know, 15, 20 years. This is not a surprise. Like, this is not surprising that he says some like dumb shit on Twitter or Instagram and like has to sort of walk it back or like kind of explain it. Like, it's really not that surprising to me. And honestly, I've always known that Deadmau5 doesn't really like dubstep. He's a huge inspiration to me also. Like, the reason why I started DJing in the first place was Deadmau5. Like, he was the first EDM artist that I knew about. Maybe I heard some other ones before, but he was the first name that I actually knew and followed and still follow to this day, and he got me into like Skrillex afterwards. And then from there, it was like off to the races of me being a fan of like EDM and stuff for the next, I don't know, maybe like 20 years now. Who knows? Probably not 20 years, probably like 15 or something. Yeah, like I've been in the scene like forever. So yeah, I mean, none of this is incredibly surprising to me. I think honestly, it just shows that like the dubstep scene is filled with relatively like good people who can like handle their genre being made fun of. Like Deadmau5 didn't have like a whole meltdown about this. Subtronics also just made a joke out of this, right? And yeah, like I just think, hey, W dubstep scene, and yeah, that's about it. But yeah, Deadmau5 kind of looked bad. I don't think this was like super necessary for him to do. I can understand like not enjoying the music, but honestly, I do think that he meant it as a joke. I don't think that he was super serious about it, but yeah. I mean, it kind of looks bad to come after, probably the biggest artist right now in dubstep. Maybe Subtronics is, I don't even know. But I would say Deadmau5 is a little bit more, Sudden Death is a little bit more underground than Subtronics. And so I would say maybe Sudden Death is like the biggest underground, sure, but Sudden Death's not that underground. I mean, he has his own festival. Like, is that really still underground? I don't know. Anyways, just figured I would cover this. Thought it was kind of funny and just whatever. But yeah, we're not going to cover like drama or news videos all the time, to be honest. That's not what I want to do here. But if there is like something like this where like there is some sort of lesson to learn, which is like just sometimes like your heroes are not gonna like the shit that you do. That's fine. Like, they don't have to. And you just have to be like confident enough to not let that tear you down as an artist and just be like, all right, well, this can happen. This can absolutely happen. And there's like an expression that goes something like, you never want to meet your heroes or something like that. And I think this is like a good representation of like, just because you're a fan of someone doesn't mean that they're going to be a fan of you or even like you in any way, shape, or form. And that's okay. That's totally fine. And you need to sort of develop enough confidence in yourself so that if that moment ever comes where, I don't know, it could be Deadmau5, could be fucking anybody that, been a fan of for years, they come after you, then you don't just explode in a ball of fury and just, attack them and then make yourself look bad. But yeah, I think everybody handled this fairly well. Deadmau5 is kind of a dick, but I mean, everybody's known this for years. He hasn't really changed, and I don't think he's going to at any point. And honestly, who cares? Doesn't matter. He makes great music. But yeah, don't be like Deadmau5. Be like Sudden Death, really. That's all all it is. All right, thank you so much. Couple things. Obviously, affiliate links below, you know, gotta pimp those out because we gotta make money here. Plugin Boutique. Any plugin that I put down there is stuff that I use, stuff that I vouch for. I also use Plugin Boutique myself to buy plugins. They have a lot of like great deals and stuff. So right now they have like a $200 Amplitude, you know, amp set for like 30 bucks. If you want to get that, that seems to be pretty worth it to me. I'm thinking about getting it too. Some baby audio stuff too is on sale. I'm not gonna put it in the links below just because I'm 100% sure. I'm pretty sure about Crystalline, and I'm pretty sure I like Comeback Kid. I just don't like how they do the like preset. Like you open a folder. Guys, where's the update for that? Like why? What the hell? I'm not gonna recommend Comeback Kid literally for that reason. There might be better delays. Anyways, I do like how it looks and how it sounds, but dude, the preset shit is dumb. Like why are we going into a folder? Why can't we just have a drop down of all the presets? That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, anyways, Patreon coming soon too. I figured I'd say that. I think I'm gonna try and launch it around, so I have like planned vacation. I think it starts on Wednesday the 6th. So if I can launch it by like Friday the 8th, that would be sick. That would be really sick. And yeah, apart from that, oh yeah, new song out now. It's on Bandcamp. I'm gonna put all my music on Bandcamp for the first month, just so if any of you want to purchase it or support the channel, you can. It's always going to be on Bandcamp 1 month in advance, and then after that I'm going to release it on streaming services. Basically all my songs are just like proof of concept and proof that I'm not just like washed. That's basically why I, you know, make a lot of my music now. One, because I enjoy it and I'm never going to stop making music, but also because like I want you to take advice from me and also have proof that I'm, one, using the advice, and two, that I'm not washed. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao.